I think one of the things that's really important is that we keep looking to earn respect. To me, respect's worth more than all the gold in the world. So earn respect on and off the cricket field. I think also another really important foundation over the last 6 years in Western Australian cricket is that we look to encourage great cricketers, but also great people. So if we can encourage great cricketers and great Australians over the next 4 years, starting from day one, I think that's a really important foundation for us. It's not just about how we play our cricket, it's also about being good citizens and being good Australians. Yeah, look, I think the Australian public, a lot of people love Australian cricket, and if you look back over, I was very fortunate. I was brought up under Bob Simpson and Alan Border. I still get nervous even saying their name because they were that tough and they demanded excellence on and off the cricket field, and we played hard. And I think the Australian cricket team, the public will be disappointed if we don't play good, hard, competitive cricket. That said, we can also modify our behaviours. Over that time, I was lucky to play with great competitors. We talk about Alan Border and Shane Warne and Glenn McGrath and Adam Gilchrist and Steve Waugh. They played hard, but they're also outstanding people. So I think we modify our behaviours a bit so it's not angry or not over-aggressive, but we're certainly aggressive in the mindset we play with the bat and the ball. Look, one thing I know is that one of the key values for me is learning from the past and respecting the past. So we'll learn from what's happened. And those guys, look, when I think about, Cameron Bancroft and Steve Smith, literally, besides Mike Hussey, love the game of cricket more than anyone I know. They are cricket tragics, and they're great kids. And, that's why it was such a surprise they made the mistake they did, I think. But they're great kids. They've made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. We can all get better at things. Davey Warner's the same. He's a really good young bloke. He made a mistake. I love the way he plays his cricket. I mean, I'm a cricket tragic. The way he runs between the wickets, the way he fields, the way he bats, they're things that, for the less trained eye, you might not respect that as much, but I love the way he plays his cricket. Has he got areas to get better at? Yep. Has Steve Smith? Yep. Has Cameron Bancroft? Yep. Have every single person in Australian cricket? Yep. We've all got areas we can get better at. If we can keep mentoring them and helping them, and they want to keep getting better and they want to meet the standards of the Australian cricket team, then of course they'll be welcome back. One of the things I know also is about it was Anzac Day a few weeks ago, and one thing I know about Australians is mateship's really important, and elite mateship within the Australian cricket team is going to be a key value. So we'll have to work on that. If you get that camaraderie, I've said for years, it's like if you got that camaraderie, it's like the glue that keeps everything together, particularly when you're under pressure. Now, I would say, without being in it, that camaraderie wasn't as tight as it needed to be because we're under pressure. The glue sort of separated a bit. I don't like seeing that in a cricket team. I like them to be tight. I like us all to be tight, not just the players, but the support staff, Cricket Australia. I think that that elite mateship is crucial. In every great team I've been involved with, I get nervous when I think about that. We've got a World Cup, we've got a T20 World Cup, we've got a couple of Ashes. So I start getting nervous, especially when the boss is sitting next to me. There's some big tournaments coming up. But I think ultimately, if I fast forward it, the Indian tour against India, the Test tour in about 3 or 4 years' time, to me that's the ultimate, because we will judge ourselves on if we're a great cricket team if we beat India in India. And I look back on my career, the Mount Everest moment was 2004 when we finally beat India in India. So we've got to get better at playing away, we've got to get better at playing overseas. We become a great team if we win overseas and at home. So that'll be a big moment for us looking forward. That's something to aspire to. We've obviously got Ashes tours. I think back on the great Australian cricket teams again, 89. We obviously had the Invincibles way back, but the 89 Ashes, it was like a pivotal moment for Australian cricket. You talk to all the players, that's a legendary tour because we went across as the worst team ever, and that was probably the start of that era of cricket dominance for Australia. So, and then we had 95 when we finally beat the West Indies in West Indies. I was lucky to be part of that. It was a huge tour. So I think back, there's been some great achievements, but winning overseas, excuse me, and ultimately winning in India in a few years' time, that'd be pivotal, I think. Yeah, my learnings of the last few years were that I think one of the great advantages in West Australian cricket was that I think someone's got to oversee it, particularly if you're looking at the culture and looking at setting some parameters. Certainly in the short term, there's no doubt I have some great people working with me. You have to. There's Ricky, there's been a lot of talk about Ricky. Ricky's literally like my brother, and the feedback from him being involved with the T20 from the players who came back was, well, it didn't surprise me for 1 millisecond because he's a legend in so many ways. So we have some great people, can't do it alone. I know that the only way I'll be successful if I've got great people around me. In fact, that's number one pillar, you get great people around. But ultimately I think someone's got to oversee it, because you don't want to have splits, you don't want to have different messages if you do, because ultimately it's the Australian cricket team's the Australian cricket team, and there'll be times where the fixturing means that we can't be in the same place at the same time. That's impossible, but we'll work our way around that.
And last one, Ross.
Yeah, it's funny because my coaching philosophy, I guess, is just to help these kids become as good as they can become. I've said it from day one. I like helping them. I've got 4 daughters, so I've had, and they're 4 teenage daughters. So for the last 6 years, it's like having 28 sons. We're never good enough to get a son, but so yeah, I've had 28 sons, and I feel as a coach, sometimes you're like a headmaster, sometimes you're like a policeman, sometimes you're like a dad, sometimes like a brother, sometimes you're like an uncle. It's that's mentorship. I think that's leadership. The other funny thing about it is that people see me as really serious, tough, serious. That's my public persona, I guess. But I'm also a bit of a hippie. Yeah. So, well, only my daughter gave me a shave yesterday or 2 days ago, because 1 month every year I like to grow a beard and not wear shoes. I think it's because, I work bloody hard. So for 1 month of the year, and I've just finished that 2 days ago, on Saturday really, when I spoke to James. But and I like different people. I think there's a bit of a worry. Someone asked me on the radio before, everyone's going to be really serious, and that's actually the opposite. If you look at the West Australian team, the ones I like the most are the ones who are a bit different. And you've got to have some personality, you've got to have some competitive instinct, you've got to be comfortable in your own skin. And I like those sort of people. You can't be great at anything without being a bit different. And I am a bit different. And that's like, it used to worry me when I was younger, but now I'm really comfortable in my own skin. I'm a bit different. I like to work, I like to train, I like to meditate, I like to be a bit of a hippie when I can. And I like people being a bit different. But what I do know is, as a coach, I know that there's great expectations and great responsibility to be an Australian cricketer, and those standards have to be met.